I walk into the fear. Most people try to back away from it or wait for it to go away. I actually walk toward it. And I don't walk toward it fearlessly necessarily. I walk toward it inquisitively.
Hello, and welcome to the Get Loved Up podcast. Y'all, I am so excited today to have one of my most inspiring mentors, Lisa Nichols, is here in the house, and I have chills all over my body. I'm so honored to have her on today because this woman, I have to read her receipts because she's so amazing, and some people that hear her speak don't know the depth of her reach, but I just want to read it because it's so necessary. So Lisa Nichols is one of the world's most requested motivational speakers, as well as a media personality and corporate CEO whose global platform has reached nearly 80 million people. Let me repeat that, 80 million people. From a struggling single mom on public assistance to a millionaire entrepreneur, Lisa's courage and determination has inspired fans worldwide and helped countless audiences break through to discover their own untapped talents and infinite potential. As a founder and chief executive officer of Motivating the Masses Incorporated, Lisa has developed workshops, programs, just amazing things that have transformed the lives of countless men and women and altered their trajectory of businesses throughout the country and across the world. Lisa is also the best-selling author of 6 books. Let me repeat that, 6 books. Her 7th book, one of my favorite, Abundance Now, was published in 2016 by HarperCollins. Abundance Now continues to just exemplify her greatness through her journey, providing clear and practical blueprint for personal success, drawn directly from her life experiences as a beloved author. Abundance Now is a follow-up to Lisa's New York Times bestseller, also my favorite, No Matter What. I mean, this woman has coined my favorite term. You have to fill your cup first and then give from the overflow. Allow people to sip from your saucer. Every time she says that, it gives me chills. More about that later, but let me continue with her receipts. Lisa's extraordinary story of transforming her own life from public assistance to creating a multi-million-dollar enterprise is the inspiration behind her bold mission to reach others and teach them that they can do the same. Today, her fans worldwide revere Lisa for the mastery of teaching people to accomplish unfathomable goals and tap into their limitless potential. A noted media personality, she has appeared on Oprah, The Today Show, Dr. Phil, Steve Harvey, and Extra, just to name a few. She is also celebrated for the impact that she has on the lives of teens. Through Lisa's nonprofit foundation, Motivating the Teen Spirit, she has touched the lives of over 270,000 teens. She has prevented over 3,800 teen suicide, and she has supported 2,500 dropouts in returning to school. She has helped thousands reunite with their families. This woman you're about to hear from is epic. Among prestigious awards and honors bestowed upon Lisa for her extensive work are the Humanitarian Award from the country of South Africa, the Ambassador Award, the Lego Foundation's of Heart of Learning Award, the City of Henderson, Nevada, named November the 20th as Motivating the Teen Spirit Day. The City of San Diego named April the 25th as Motivating the Masses Day. And the City of Houston, Texas named May 9th as the Lisa Nichols Day for her dedication to service, philanthropy, and healing. Lisa lives and plays and works in the greater San Diego area, and now she has a beautiful second home in the Bahamas. She is committed with her world-class team to motivate the masses. Lisa, welcome.
Thank you so much for that generous, gracious introduction. I appreciate you. Sorry you had to read through all of that. My gosh. Thank you.
It is such an honor to be just an mentee of your work. It is an honor to hear you speak. Every time you speak, you touch my soul in a new and special way. And I just kind of want to start off this podcast with you sharing my favorite quote, which is what inspired my company, Get Loved Up, is you cannot give from an empty cup. Can you really unpack that and let me know what inspired that quote?
Yeah. Servers. So whenever I come in contact with someone like you, I meet another sister friend, our brother friend, and we are servers. We are individuals who love to serve. We serve to the detriment at times of our own selves, but we love I love serving. Like, it feels good until it doesn't feel good. And no one takes. I'm offering. And it comes from the concept that people like you and I and everyone looking at this particular show right now, we have a long line of people that are looking to be served, loved, supported, honored, celebrated, poured into by us. There's a long line. My speaking of serving from your saucer said, you can always have a long line. Just stop being at the back of your line. Move to the front of your line. Matter of fact, say, excuse me. You know how when you're walking up the line and you get in front, excuse me, I need to get up. Excuse me. No worries. You're going to be served. Excuse me. And get to the front so that when you serve, you don't serve from not only a half empty tank. Some of us serve from a bone dry cup, and we get so used to the service. The service muscle is fully in development, the service of others. And so I began to come up with this concept. What if I never serve from my cup? What if my cup is unavailable to anyone else and I serve from my overflow? Because when you serve from your overflow, Koya, all of a sudden your service has more gratitude. You're excited about it. One of the things, the contagious energy that you feel from me when you see me speak live or when you see me on video, is you see the contagious excitement energy because I serve me first. And then I'm giving you my overflow. So it's like, this is extra. We can keep going all day, every day. Stop whenever you need to rest, because I'm good. So when you do that, I began to realize that the energy in which I served from felt better because I had more gratitude, because I wasn't coming from a place of lack. I wasn't coming from a place of void. I wasn't coming from a place of, I need to prove something. I don't need to prove anything, protect, hide, or defend. I'm just coming to be of service. So the energy by which it came out with just felt so good. And then the benefit was when I laid down at night, there's no resentment that I served you during the day, because I served from my saucer. So everyone wins, win. Now, mind you, the muscle many times is an atrophy called serve self first, then serving from my overflow. Because we believe sacrificial martyr. I'm gonna suffer a little bit while I'm here, and that makes me a better person. When we get over that mindset, old school teaching, I respect the teachers, I gotta deflect the teaching, right? To say, I don't have to suffer to be of great service. It goes from that, you can have this or that, and then I upgrade that and say, no, I can have this and that, and multiply that and make that more. Like, whole new way of thinking. Whole new way of thinking is that I can serve you and give you everything you need and have no lack in my life. Matter of fact, I serve me first, have no lack, and then serve you from my overflow, win-win, right? And so it's just a new way of thinking as a culture, spiritually, as a gender, economically. And when you realize there are multiple blueprints that we're operating to. We're operating inside a cultural blueprint, a spiritual blueprint, an economic blueprint, a gender blueprint. And many of those blueprints say, you just suffer, but it doesn't say suffer first, it says serve, and then worry about yourself. And I say, flip that. Let me take care of me, serve you from my overflow, because then I'm not serving you like this life is a sprint. I'm serving you like this life is a marathon.
Woo, y'all, did y'all catch that? Because that has changed my entire life. And there's another thing that you say, that gets people, just knowing you can't give from an empty cup. You have to let people sip from your saucer. And I have been practicing that, nurturing myself, and it has been my healer. And there's another thing that you say that also touches my soul, and I kind of want to dive into that. You call yourself a servant leader. Can you share with me where that term comes from and what it means to you?
Wow, I love that you want to dive into that, because wow. So I had a tumultuous religious background, right? In that I felt like I was never good enough. Like when I looked at all the ways that men define being godly, right? So much so that I kind of stepped away from it for a very long time and go, you know what? It feels like being in the community of godly people I'm being judged all the time. I'm never enough. I'm not godly enough. I'm not spiritual. I'm just never enough. And so in stepping away, I wanted to reestablish my own relationship with the divine directly. And so I went from a horizontal relationship, meaning the people around me helped me to see my worth as a spiritual being, to a vertical relationship to say, divine, come through me, God, whatever you call, I call him God, whatever you call, come through me, show me how to serve. And so as I began to serve more, and as I began to spread my wings more, like watching me spread my wings has blown my mind as much as it's blown anybody else's. Because I know the Lisa from South Central LA, the Lisa that felt like she was too dark with her mocha skin, her full lips, her round hips, and her kinky hair. Not good enough, not pretty enough, not light enough, not thin enough, not tall enough, not smart enough. And then to realize through such a vessel, God would use me to do the work that I've done in the world, and I'm just getting started. Man, I'm a servant leader. I am here to be of service. God, this is what I say. Every November, I spend the majority of the month on my face, not on my knees, on my face, full body stretched out to surrender. Use me. How do you want to use me? I am the instrument. I am the tool. My mind, my soul, my spirit, my body are all ready for your direction. How do you want to use me? So as a servant leader, I know I'm a leader. I'm a CEO. I'm a change agent. I'm a transformational coach. I'm a leader. And I use it all to be of the highest service possible. Use me. I can be stubborn, Koya. I can be righteous. I can get stuck in when I got a goal, move out the way. Mountain, move over, mountain, bow down. So I got a lot of stuff I'm always working on. Stubborn, I can be resistant, I'm a workaholic. But what I am on top and before all of that is I'm obedient to the calling on my life. There is a calling on your life. There's an expectancy. This world human race should not be the same because you were born. You are here to infect us. You are here to affect us. You are here to disrupt this planet in the unique, unrepeatable way that you're here to do that. You're here to contribute. You're here to ignite. You're here to start. You're here to do that thing that only you can do. And for that, I say yes. I say use me. When I get to the end of my day, sis, I don't want to have any energy left. They say rest in peace. I think people who don't live out their greatest life, who don't play full out, I don't think they rest in peace. I want to lay back in my later days when I have 1 year, 2 year, 5 years left. I want to look back at my life and I want to say I played full out. I was in full service. I didn't try to hold any to the end. I didn't try to wait till I got it perfect. I didn't try to wonder what people might think about me. I played full out for the spirit of being obedient to the calling on my life. That's servant leadership.
Wow, wow, wow. Mic drop. So
hashtag
mic drop. And that gives me chills all over my body. And I feel like you have done so much epic work in your career. You already have a huge legacy and have inspired so many people. What is it that you still have a desire to do?
Well, what's really funny is that when you say that, I go, oh, really? Because I never, ever keep score. I don't look at my reach. Like, I hear this stuff when someone reads a bio, and I go, oh, okay, okay. Like, I didn't even know, it used to be 53 million, and I don't know when someone changed it. I don't know how they got, like, I'm sure they're doing the research, but I don't calculate that. I don't calculate, did my book hit a bestsellers list? I remember when I wrote No Matter What, and a friend of mine every day would call me and say, did it hit the bestsellers list? Did it hit the bestsellers? And he was making me miserable. And on the 13th day, I said, stop calling me with this question. I said, I didn't write this book to make it a bestseller. I wrote this book to help the one person that might pick it up. So I don't know who rates bestseller, but I'm not about being a bestseller. I'm about being an impactful transformational coach. And so if 28 people transform their lives, winner for me. And so I don't keep score on what I have done. I tell people all the time, I'm not impressed by your bio. That's what you did. That's so 08. I want to know about your future. Who are you becoming? What's being born through you? What are you currently midwifing out? And so I'm not driving to a destination. I'm not driving to a destination. I'm just excited to be on the journey. I'm excited to be of use. I'm excited that I woke up this morning in a sound mind so God can use me to be a creator of artistry inside social behavior and relationship management. I'm excited that when I command my left hand to lift, it lifts. I'm excited. And as long as I have that in me, there's something for me to do. And I want to every day say, use me. So I'm not pursuing any location. I'm not pursuing any dollar amount. I'm not pursuing any grand status. I'm not, because the moment I get there, then life is over, because what else is after that? I don't look back. Honestly, my team laughs at me because I don't know half the credits that people give me or who's following me or what it is. My social media manager called me and said, well, I gotta celebrate. We're at 1 million people on Facebook. You have 1 million followers, and I went, woo! What does that mean? Woo! It was an empty moment. I was like, yay! And then what? Like, what does that mean? Like, where are they following me to, and how can I serve them? And like, literally, I'm so into the being used that I tell people, I teach a lot of courses. I have a lot of beautiful souls on my campus who are transforming their lives, and watching them teach differently, watching them grow their businesses differently, watching them love their children and their spouses differently. When I tell you that is the manna for my soul, that is the oxygen for my tank, that's the water for my throat. When I watch someone living out new choices, new actions, new behavior, and their children being the beneficiary of it, their partners, their parents, man, I just want to create more of that. And I'm in the season now, and you ask what's next. I'm in the season where I know that God is going to really use me to go to countries that don't have access. I say that I'm building wealth now so that my family and my needs are met, so I can go sit in villages. And I don't even literally think of revenue streams anymore, because I took care of those. I don't think of care for my mom or my dad or my son or my grandchildren, because I took care of that. So if I'm running hard for anything now, it's so that I can put that stuff away so it can grow itself, so that I can go and I can sit in maybe rural places, I'm not sure, and I can be with women. I can be with grandmothers. I can be with daughters. I can be with fathers and brothers, and I can offer the gift of my wisdom. I can offer the gift of my influence. I can offer the gift of my resources. I don't know what that'll look like, but I'm excited for what it is. It's more servant leadership. It's more spirituality. It's health and wellness, believe it or not. If you've watched me for a while, then you know that I'm almost 90 pounds less than what I used to be. And I believe that I'm one of the few people who built a successful career obese. And then I released. And I believe that there's a responsibility for me to have that conversation. And I'll be quite honest with you, I'm still on my knees and on my face, getting the courage to open up that conversation and that experience. I only teach about things that I'm called to teach about. And so I'm excited for whatever the future looks like.
That's so powerful. And that also reminds me of a story that I feel like a lot of people are experiencing now that we're in this kind of never ending staycation at home. A lot of people are experiencing domestic violence. And I know from reading your books that you have experienced domestic violence. So I would like, if you could share your story and kind of share with people how to really navigate that space.
Sure. I love you. I love the drop to the soul. It's something I don't talk about as much anymore, but it needs to be discussed because it's still going on. Before I experienced domestic physical violence, I experienced emotional abuse. And I didn't even know that I was being emotionally abused. And when I look back, I got there because I lowered my bar and I wanted to be in partnership more than I was willing to love Lisa. That lonely had succumbed me. Lonely had began to snatch my intuition away from me. Lonely made influence me to compromise my wisdom. And so that's number one, that I got there because I lowered my bar. And because in these conversations, too much energy is put on the abuser. But I was a co-creator, and I was willing to own that I was a co-creator in that chaos. And it doesn't mean that I deserved it. It doesn't mean that it was all my fault. What it means is if I can own how I got in it, then I get to own how I get out of it. Because if I completely gave the steering wheel to him, then I could not drive myself out of the situation. And so I began to, in this relationship, I was engaged to be married. I was 5 months from my wedding. My dress was being made and the invitations were being drafted and packaged. And my then fiance began to have these quirky moments where he would go into these dark moments. Little did I know he was battling with being bipolar, and felt truly from his heart and soul, he felt like love could heal him. So when he moved 3,000 miles across the country to be with me once we got engaged, he left his medication at home against his family's strong encouragement. And I was unaware. And we had this amazing night where we had dinner, we bathed together, we made beautiful love, and I went to sleep. And I woke up at 3:20 a.m. with his hands wrapped around my throat. And I know 3:20 because while he was choking me, I looked over at the clock for some reason. And I know why. I had a dream that I was gonna, my life was gonna end. I had this dream multiple times, and I had the dream my life was gonna end between 2 and 4. I don't know why, and I don't remember dreams. I don't remember dreams. I don't have dream messages. I don't have any of that. It just, this dream kept coming. And I'm like, what is that? And in the dream, he had something to do with my life ending. So when I looked over, and I could barely breathe. And he was 6'9", 310 pounds, no body fat, semi-pro football player, just massive. He choked me until I passed out. I woke up the next morning and I thought that I had dreamt it. It was a nightmare. but I sort of knew something was off. I jumped up. I ran to the room to see if my son Jelani was alive, and he's 3. And I shook him and shook him and shook him, Jelani, Jelani, and he finally woke up. And then I heard music downstairs, and I smelled bacon. And I said, if he is remorseful, then I'm not in complete danger. We have to break up. I got to call off the wedding, but I'm not in complete danger because he's not crazy. But if he acts like nothing happened, then I'm in danger because that's crazy. And I walked downstairs and I was hoping he would say, baby, I'm so sorry. Like I'm praying, knowing that we had to break up because you just choked me until I passed out. Unless I had a bad, like I literally was tripping. I was in disbelief. I was in denial. I find out later. And he's cooking and he turned around and he looked at me and goes, hey babe, you want breakfast? And I was like, uh-oh. And then I start questioning myself. You question yourself, right? So I went to the bathroom and I said, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm tripping. And I'm brown, so it takes a lot to bruise our complexion. I mean, you gotta really hit us hard, right? So I go to the bathroom and I'm like, if I don't see anything on my neck, then I had a really bad lifelike, real life dream. And I checked my neck and I have burgundy welts all on my neck. And right at that moment, he came into the bathroom and I looked up, and I'll never forget. The first thing that entered in my head was, you're about to fight for your life. And the thing that came to me was that I couldn't fight. I couldn't fight like I traditionally fought to get home from school 3 days a week. When I was getting home between the Harlem Crip 30s and the Rolling 60s, I'd have fights. I couldn't fight that way, Koya. I had to realize how to fight intellectually, how to fight strategically. I'd never done that before, never. I started strategically navigating how to get him out, how to put him on a long vacation home, how to move while he's on vacation, like I just began. But the first thing I did was I made a list of all the reasons why I had to live. I made a list of all the things that I get to experience. I made a list of all the things my son gets to experience, because in that emotional turmoil, you can forget to put your chin up and look over the chaos to the horizon. You can easily forget. So I made a list. I'd only been doing motivational speaking for 3 years at this time. And so though I was speaking, I didn't have a lot under my belt, but I pulled everything I had under my belt and I put it around me. I put it under my pillow. I put it in my nightstand. I put it in my panty drawer. Everywhere I have Post-it notes to remind me what I had to live for. I finally got him out of my life 3 months later, the longest 3 months of my life. But what happened after that? I just want to share this with you if I can. I began to have nervous breakouts. I began to profusely cry for no reason. I couldn't hold my urine. I didn't even know when I had to go to the bathroom. And my mother began to worry about me. I moved with my mother afterwards. I moved out of my house. I changed jobs. I did everything I needed to do to keep myself safe. I took radical action. Sometimes we're not willing to take radical action because we don't want to disrupt our norm. Well, let me tell you something. When you're fighting for your life, nothing is normal. Let me just say that. When you're fighting for your life, nothing is normal. So if you have to change your household, change your address, change your zip code, change your job, change your friends, change it so you can live long enough to create all that again. So that's what I have to let go and go, nothing's normal. So let me just stop trying to not disrupt the norm. I'm fighting for my life. Nothing's normal. So I went and I stayed with all this weird, crazy crying and using the bathroom on myself. Like, I'm gonna just be honest, I've never told anyone this. Like, I just would stand there and because my nerves were just shot, right? And I went to the doctor, Dr. Bray, I'll never forget. I'm sitting on the table and she asked me a series of questions and she said, Lisa, you're depressed. You're clinically depressed. And I remember I was looking down and I looked up and I said, what? Like depressed and Lisa Nichols had never been in the same sentence. It never. And I said, what do you mean, Doc? She said, you're suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder and you're clinically depressed. And I said, I don't understand. And she said, I said, am I sad? She said, you're really, really, really sad. And then she handed me a piece of paper. And she handed me a piece of paper and I looked at the paper and it said, Lisa Nichols, Prozac. And I said, Prozac? She said, yes, it's when you're clinically depressed, you need help, honey. And I asked her, I said, Doc, can I try something else? She said, 30 days. 30 days, you come back, you got to get on the medication. And I went home, and for 30 days, I realized that I had forgotten who I was, and I'd forgotten whose I was. I had only become Jelani's mother and his fiance. I forgot my soul. I forgot my determination. So I spent 30 days reminding myself, Koya, who I've always been. I put Post-it notes around my house. You are a child of God. Post-it notes around my house. You are a mighty warrior queen getting back up. You're still a warrior queen. You're just getting back up. You're a warrior queen sitting down. I reminded myself, you are beautiful and worthy of healthy love. I put Post-it notes all around my house. And every morning I got in the mirror, I completed 3 sentences. And you saw that in my books, 3 sentences. Every morning I got in the mirror and I said, Lisa, I'm proud that I found 7 things to be proud of myself for. The second sentence, Lisa, I forgive you for. And girl, when I tell you, I did the ugly cry on the forgiveness one. You couldn't understand me. I was like, Lisa, I forgive you for, I mean, the ugly cry. But I got it out. I cut the shackles to blame, shame, guilt, regret, and anger. Every day, 7 different shackles. And every day, the third sentence, Lisa, today I commit to you. Sometimes, Koya, the I'm proud of you was, Lisa, I'm proud that you got out of the bed today. Mm-hmm. Lisa, I forgive you for being so lonely that you ignored the signs. Lisa, I commit to you that today we'll take a shower. Lisa, I'm proud that you told your mother. Lisa, I'm proud that you went to the doctor to hear that you are depressed. Lisa, I forgive you for subjecting Jelani to whatever occurred. When I tell you ugly cried daily, every day for 30 days. I went back to the doctor in 30 days. My emotions had shifted. My awareness had shifted. I've been reminded daily, hourly who I was. I mean, I went into the work, girl. The doctor said, I got 2 questions for you. Number 1, what have you been doing for the last 30 days? And number 2, is it a program that I can take and give to my other patients? I never took Prozac. And I'm not inviting you, if you're on medication, to not take your medication. Please, I need to say that. I asked my doctor gave me an option. I had a program, I went back to the doctor, but I never took it. I never fulfilled the prescription because I began to give myself what the void was. I saw the void because of the work I've been doing, and I began to feel the void. I was already on stages. Like I was on about 12 stages a month, and I did not let that prevent me from saying I need to go back to the beginning of the work. So whenever my students step on campus, whenever someone, I said, let's start with the mirror work. I always start with mirror work.
Wow, that is so powerful. And thank you so much for sharing that, sir. I know it's a very vulnerable and hard story, and I love how you share it because I'm just going to tell you that specific story gives me hope because as a single woman, I'm in those relationships and I see those red flags. And it is nice to have someone, you look at couples and partners and family, and you're like, okay. And the last relationship, I literally was tearing up when you were saying it because I asked myself, and I remembered your story. I'm like, so you can be abused or you can be lonely. Which one do you want? And it was such a hard decision, but I knew what the right answer was. Because there might be moments of loneliness, but I'm never alone, like you said. And I think that, you know, because the world has this weight on being married and having kids and all that stuff is so heavy sometimes, especially I'm from the South. So I got them Southern parents, got 11 grandkids, and they still looking at me like, when you gonna have kids, you know?
Right.
And
they act like there really is a biological clock. Like there's a clock. I always tell people, I took the batteries out my clock. So
yeah, and I just want to thank you so much for sharing that story, because it's that story that I remind myself of. It's like, when you see these, that's emotional abuse and you have to be careful. And I told this person, it wasn't a no. I said, we need to go to counseling. And if you are willing to go to, because he had all the good signs, all the good things, but I noticed like this, I'm noticing emotional abuse, and let's go to counseling. First they were against it. Now they're open to it, but I'm like, unless we go to counseling. And I've learned that because you shared your story, and because I have, you know, been in a situation where it has been abusive. And when it gets that far, it is traumatizing for a long time. And so hopefully, thank you for sharing that story. Hopefully it helps someone out there, because I know people are crammed up together right now. And a lot of times people escape their homes and they can go to work or go with the kids and be out and be away from each other enough that the pressure of someone's abuse isn't suffocating. But when you're in that space at home and you can't go anywhere, I feel like that's why a lot of people are experiencing so much abuse right now.
Yeah, well, I'm glad, and thank you for asking, because I believe that our life stories are meant for us to stand on, not in. And the opportunity to stand on that story again, because what's past for me is someone else's current experience. And so who am I to keep a past victory to myself when someone else is looking for their oxygen in that same experience right now? So any story, I don't care where it takes me. I think that's one of the things that I'm committed to, is to surrender my ego, my shigo, surrender my need, my fear of exposing, surrender the desire to not touch that part of my pain or my darkness again. I surrender all that for the sake of what good can I be to someone else, you know? And so the willingness to revisit dark corners of our lives so someone can see their own light, that my visiting my dark corner shines a light on it, that light can illuminate someone else's possibility, you know? And so amen for you asking, for being aware enough and compassionate enough to say, can we go into this space to help lead a sister out, to help lead a brother out? Absolutely.
It's definitely been a beautiful nugget in my life. And I always refer to it when I need to remind myself that it's not worth it. It's not worth the abuse. No one should tolerate abuse, mental, spiritual, physical, emotional, none of it. So thank you so much for that. And another thing that I loved was when I was at Agape, my favorite spiritual centers, and you were there speaking, and you had this talk on I am extraordinary, and you had us all sharing, and you shared this story about your track experience that I had never heard before. So you have to share, like, it's still, that one stuck with me too.
Which story about you? I got so many. I lived on the track with so many.
I say track, but it was Charlie's Angels, and you were going out for Charlie's Angels.
Yes. And that happened right there in LA. So yes. So when I was one of the first class of bus students to the Valley, long before you were born, my love, and it was an integration. It's when the schools first got integrated, and so we didn't know how to fit in, because when we first got to the schools, we were stared at, we were glared at, we had tomatoes thrown at us, rocks thrown at us, and that was by the parents. And I kept telling people, I was born after the civil rights. I'm like, hold on, what is this? This is the 80s. What is happening? This is the late 70s. And so there was this really strong desire to fit in at these new Valley schools in Los Angeles. I just wanted to fit in. That's all I wanted to. Any of us, we just want to belong. And I believe when people become loners, They don't become loners because you want to be alone. You become loners because connecting with people has become too painful. And you've opted to take this path of the least amount of pain, perceived least amount of pain, I should say. And so we're designed to be with people. We're designed to have connection, which is why this time is so funny and funky and opportunity for us to expand, because we want to be connected and we need to be socially connected. Social distance, but social connected, right? Distant, but not disconnected, right? Which is why thank God for technology. So all I want to do in 5th grade was be connected and accepted. And so they had tryouts for the Charlie's Angels and the Bionic Woman. Well, the Bionic Woman was a show that was out the same time as Charlie's Angels. She had a part of her body, she got into an accident and a part of her body was reprogrammed and it was metal and she can run fast and she can jump high and she was super strong and she was just the bomb.com. And then Charlie's Angels, the OG Angels, y'all. Now, not the young babies, but those, they cool too, but they represent the old school. Farrah Fawcett, Kate Jackson, all the old ones, right? So every little girl wanted to be Charlie's Angels, one of Charlie's Angels or the Bionic Woman. So when they said they were having tryouts, I was super excited. I'm like, yes, I can belong to a group. That's all I wanted to do, was belong to a group. So on this particular day, they had 40 little girls on the line for tryouts. I'm the only little chocolate drop out there. I'm the only little chocolate drop. I'm cool with that. I didn't even really notice it because I'm about to be with Charlie's Angels. We're a group. We're a pack. I'm about to be the Bionic Woman. She's a super sister soldier, right? And so 40 girls trying out. The first event, which had a lot of us in it, was the 100-yard dash across the schoolyard, right? So we do the 100-yard dash. And I'm out in front. Pew! Like literally, I turn around, I get to the end. First person like 50 yards in. I kill him. Probably because I have to run home from school all the time because I lived in such a bad neighborhood. But it worked for me that day. So I win. So the judge is like, Lisa Nichols wins event number 1. I'm like, yes, I'm one step closer to being Charlie's Angel. One step closer to being the Bionic Woman. Yes. Super excited. Second event was the roll, stop, and freeze sucker. And you have to do it like the angel, like, And so everybody did their roll, stop, and freeze. So I let them go. They didn't practice. You can tell they were just walk-ons. Now it's down to about, 20 girls or something. And they're all doing it halfway. And I did my freeze sucker. And I did it perfectly, right? And I just held it there. I didn't move. And they're like, okay, Lisa Nichols wins event number 2. I'm like, yes, I'm one step closer. Last event was you have to jump over a chair. Like, not quite this big, but you have to jump over one of the school chairs, right? No one practiced. I already knew what the tests were going to be. So I was practicing jumping over my chair all night, right? And so everyone jumped over their chair. Some girls didn't even clear the chair. They fell on their face. They busted their mouth. They had broken teeth. Like the dentist had a lot of business after that. I jumped over the chair, Koya, and I added some extra to it. As you know, I'm good to do, right? I jumped over the chair, and when I went down and came up, I put the sound effects in. No one else had did the sound effects. I was like, and I jump over the chair. And then I confuse them because on the other side, I put my hands like this and look to the right like Wonder Woman. They didn't know what hit them. They were like, who was that? Who? I was like, and so they were like, Lisa Nichols wins event number 3. So I'm excited because now I know that I'm in. So now we're on the line, the final girls on the line, 8, 9, 10 girls. And they're like, so Charlie's Angels number 1. And I always change the names of the girls. So if you hear different names, I never can remember their names because it's been 100 years, I feel like. So like Charlie's Angels number 1, Kimberly. I'm like, okay, that's not me. It's okay. Good. Charlie's Angels number 2, Diane. I was like, okay. Charlie's Angels number 3, Trisha. Okay, I'm not gonna be Charlie's Angels. it's okay. I want to be Bionic Woman anyway, because she's like solo great. She's like, she can run, she can jump, she's strong. That's me anyway. So I'm already envisioning a year as the Bionic Woman. Yes. They said, and the Bionic Woman is Linda. I was like, Linda, did they get my name wrong? Until I saw Linda running past, excited. Yes, yes, yes. And this circle of girls are just celebrating and screaming. I was like, oh, it's okay. I'll be the alternate, because they said they would have an alternate in case someone couldn't come to school that day. It was like, and the alternate, Kelsey. And now I'm just confused. I'm like, how is it that you can say out loud that I won each event? And I should have probably stayed where I was, but I mustered up the courage to go over to the judges. And some days I thought it was a good idea. Some days I think it was the worst idea that I ever could have had. I mustered up the courage. I walked up to the judge. I said, why didn't you pick me? I heard some of the kids booing, knowing that I should have won. I said, why didn't you pick me? I won every event. I won each of the events. You said it. Why didn't you pick me? And the judge said, as if it were just a matter of fact, he goes, it was 3 women and 1 guy. I guess he represented Charlie. I'm not sure. He said, well, Lisa, it's easy. Which Charlie's Angels do you look like? And then a girl said, but you can try again next year if you look more like any of us then. And I remember, Koya, that day was the first time I walked away and I was angry about my color. I was angry. I had never been angry about being chocolate or having kinky hair or having it wasn't a bad thing until now. And I remember feeling my self-esteem just kind of swirling. Felt like it was like swirling the toilet bowl. Like it got worse. And 18 years later, I'm in my mid-20s, around about 18 years later. I'm speaking at a church in LA off Adams and Crenshaw. I'll never forget that. And I'm delivering a message. And I'm a poem, and it was my first time speaking in front of such a large crowd. There were 15,000 people at this church. It was big, huge. And I'm delivering this poem, and the pastor is just like, man, this young girl is just amazing, and she's gonna be a great speaker one day. And they're just pouring into me, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm just standing in my gift. And as I'm walking through the aisles afterwards, everyone's tapping me, you're amazing, I'm like, thank you, you're amazing, And I feel this hand on my shoulder, and I hear this very familiar voice saying, you were amazing. And I turned around and looked, and I look, and I'm face to face with television's Bionic Woman, Lindsay Wagner. I'm like, and I gotta tell you, girl, we are pulling our paths forward. I'm standing there looking at her, and I immediately become that 5th grader again. I just started crying. I was like, I wanted to be you. I ran, I jumped, and they didn't pick me. And I just started bawling. And she, of course, is confused. She's like, what? I said, I wanted to be the Bionic Woman, one of Charlie's Angels, and I tried out and they said that I didn't look like you and I could never look like you, so I could never be you. And I just tried so hard and I gave my best. And when I tell you, girl, I brought that trauma forward. I cut, pasted, and copied that trauma into that moment. And that's just my question for you if you're listening to me. How many of us are constantly pasting, and copying our past situations, our past traumas, our past betrayals, our past breakdowns into a current moment? That's what I did. And I just stood in front of her, I'm just crying. And she said, stop. And it took this white woman that I didn't know in the midst of 15,000 people to check me and get me back into my power. She said, I am an actress. I worked in Hollywood. You, by your story, you are a true bionic woman.
Mm.
She just released something in me, and I thought, what if she's telling the truth? What if I'm fighting to be an actress and I'm already what I need? And that's when I began to born the conversation, I am enough. I am enough. I'm smart enough, I'm wise enough, I'm light enough, I'm chocolate enough. My hair is straight enough and it's kinky enough. My lips are full enough, they're wide enough. Like everything about me, like I'm not perfect, but God didn't create a mistake when I was created. Like that's what those two dualities, I don't ever have to be perfect. And yet I'm perfectly created for the unique being that I am. Inside all of my imperfections, I'm enough. Woo! And then I birthed IAMOR. 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 I am my own rescue. I am my own rescue. That right there, girl, that is the fuel that kept me going. It says, hold on, Lisa, what is it that you thought you needed? Who did you need to be validated from? Oh, he broke up with you? Oh, don't worry, because you're not ever in a relationship to complete you. It's your job to complete you. And then it's his opportunity to complement your completeness.
Compliment your completeness.
I love that. Nobody gets to complete me. That's a big job. My job is to complete me, and his opportunity is to complement my completeness, as is my opportunity as well. That right there, sis. And I am my own rescue. All day, every day. Doesn't mean I'm everything I need. I need help. I need support. I need prayer. I need teaching. I need a coach. And I am my own rescue. And it's my job to complete me. So that was the journey. That was my bionic woman, Charlie's Angels. Amen. And then fast forward 20 more years, I end up having dinner with Lindsay Wagner at her house.
Wow. Thank you for sharing. Like, your stories are in and of themselves transformational. And I think it's such a treat for everyone listening just to be able to watch a movie. Like, you should definitely have a movie on your entire life. I'll play you, no big deal. And I'm just like,
look, you become a therapist.
It's just so therapeutic.
You'll be a very beautiful young me, I would have to say. So it's so funny you should say that, because I'm in the season now where we're talking about doing the life story of Lisa Nichols. And it's so funny because when I think about it, I keep saying, God, if that's the service you want, because I don't need the celebrity. I want the service. I stumbled on celebrity being of great service.
And it's so transformational. Your stories, each and every one of them. And if I had 2 hours, I would tell you my next 3 favorite. And because your stories are transformational, it's like you're a professional overcomer. Like, you have seen some of the darkness times, but you keep coming out. And it has been my main inspiration, going to Agape, reading the Course of Miracles, doing the meditation. But when I look and see, and I need a reflection that looks like me to give me inspiration that I can get through, which is so important, because like this story, a lot of people, I've never had a woman of color as a teacher, and people look at me, they're telling me, you're my first teacher that is a woman of color. And so looking to you, and I remember I was in, I don't know if you remember this, but I was in the audience at Agape, and it's when your Abundance Now book came out in 2016, and you came there and you spoke, and you picked me, you pointed at me out of the crowd, and I'm looking to the left and to the right, and you were like, I want to pour into you. And since that day, I consumed all of you and your books and your story, and it has poured into me in the most magical way. And so I'm excited about your movie and like all your books. I think everyone should pick up Abundance Now, no matter what. And those are my 2 favorite, but all of them, because you're pouring so much into the community by sharing your story. And there's so many young women just like myself who don't feel like we can have like a successful career. Not that that's the focus, but there's so many limiting beliefs that come up, you know, and I talk about it in my book, Let Your Fears Make You Fierce. It's just like the biggest fear is the fear of failure, you know, and the fear of failure. And it's like every time you get that fear, you transform it. Have you ever felt,
go ahead.
have you ever felt like, you know, there's something you failed at, like you're like, you know what, I just failed that, you know, and I just let that go? Or do you feel like you've taken, you know, every challenge as an opportunity for growth?
Well, I'll answer that in two parts. Number one, I haven't learned how to make fear go away. I haven't learned how to move past fear as if it's not there. What I have mastered is bringing fear along the journey, allowing fear to occupy a room in my mental mansion. You can come. You don't get to be the whole mansion, but you can occupy a room. So I've learned how to move forward with fear better than most. I've learned how to go get the information, the insight, the awareness, or the coaching or the experts to allow my fear to dissipate. So I have a relationship with fear. Most people are just trying to overcome it. I just embrace it and have a relationship with it so that it's not grandized. It's like the boogeyman. The boogeyman is on the boogeyman until while you keep running from him. If you turn on the light, shine a spotlight on the boogeyman, it's like, oh, you just a hairy, sort of scary kind of dude. You're not even real scary because I'm gonna put the light on you. And so I look at my fear. What am I afraid of? Am I afraid of failing? What does that look like? And that looks like if I do this launch and it doesn't succeed, what will people think about me? So I walk into the fear. Most people try to back away from it or wait for it to go away. I actually walk toward it. And I don't walk toward it fearlessly necessarily. I walk toward it inquisitively. Like, well, what happens? What does failure look like here? So I'm about to do a major event, as you know, and the Extraordinary You event. And the first thing is not having enough people come. That was my first thing. Oh, what if only 200 people come? You know, and then I go, well, then 200 people have an amazing experience. So I asked the question, well, what if we don't generate the revenue we need to sustain the company? Well, then I go do what I always do. I go grind. I go grind. That's what I do. Like, so I keep asking, I become Dora the Explorer. I put my hat on, I turn the light on, and I begin to explore into my fears. Most people don't want to do that. I walk into it. I just keep asking the questions until the fear dissipates, because I know all the what ifs, there's some options in the what ifs. Even if I fail hard, like I'm in the Bahamas now, I moved out of the country. I got 3 houses now. I've never had that much property. One my dad is staying in, one my mom is staying in, and one I'm staying in. So none of it's income property. You know, it's all, you know, being used. So I go, wow, I have more money going out than I've ever had go out. While I'm here in the Bahamas, my first time ever showing up at this level for the possibility of long-lasting love. I've always kept one foot in and one foot out, just in case you act up. Just in case you lose your mind, I can land on my feet. Well, now I'm all in. So there's this whole, right? And so I just kept what if? Well, what if it doesn't work? Well, I love the Bahamas. I'll get another place. Well, what if it doesn't work? Okay, I've been single before. I like my company. What if I had to go into all the things I was fearful of so that I can dissipate them. And how I've handled that is I expose the fear. I don't keep it quiet. I don't let it sit in my head. I expose it. I have accountability partners in my life. I have coaches in my life. I have people in my life. I go, you know what? This is what's making me nervous. Can we and I use the word, can we unpack it? So everyone knows when I say, can we unpack that? Yeah, can we do it like an onion and take the layers off that baby so we see how small? You take an onion like this and you take the layers off, and all of a sudden you got this round core. I want to get my fear right there. I don't want it to be like this. I want it to be like this. And it can still stay there. But put your jacket on, fear. Put your seatbelt on, fear. You coming with me because I'm not stopping. And so the bigger you play, the bigger your breakdowns. Let me just say that. And if you're not having breakdowns, you're not playing big enough. And your opportunity is to make Your opportunity is to rename the purpose of a breakdown. Breakdowns are not there to prove you can't do it. Breakdowns are there for you to create a new, bigger, better, more expanded system doing it. So the moment you go to the end of your comfort zone, to the end of your possibility, and you start playing there, you start shaking the walls, you have breakdown. In the face of breakdown, you create a system that can contain the breakdown. Now your capacity is broader, and you just keep growing like that. I tell people my business is as big as it is because I kept failing forward. I failed a lot. I will continue, but what I always do is fail forward. And I teach that, there's this whole section in my upcoming training, Extraordinary You, that we've invited you to partner with us on. I have a whole section on failing forward, a whole section. Now, I also got a whole section on serving from your saucer. So you know about that. So I unpack it. I unpack it so that you can see it. What does failing forward look like? Most wildly successful people, we have failed 10 to 20 times more than people who are living an average, ordinary life. We fail more. It's just, what do we do with the failure? We fail forward. And so I am who I am because I embrace fear and I embrace failure. And I use them both as my fuel. Fear and failure are fuel.
I love it. Fear and failure are fuel. I love it.
First time ever saying that ever in life right here with you. That's my first time ever saying that. I'm gonna write it down so I don't forget it, but that's my first time ever saying it with you.
And it's going live. Fear and failure are fuel. And I always like to say fear is feedback. So fear and failure are fuel and give you feedback of places in your life that need more love. So thank you for sharing that with us. And I could talk to you and sit at your feet all day and soak up the wisdom, but we have to honor your time. So I want you to really share with us about this opportunity that you have coming up, because it's going to be an opportunity for people to dive deeper with you. So please share with us how we can have more of Lisa Nichols.
And then the perfect time. So one, you're at home. So attend my event live online. Attend my event live online. You're at home. Let's give you a space to pour into, to be poured into, to be transformed. I'm going to invite you, sis, to come and sit at my feet. You have been doing it already. I love you. I love what you stand for. I would love for you to come as my special guest. So I would love to have you there. I would love to have your energy. I would love to have you share your energy with my tribe. I would love for you to come on a more intimate basis on the campus. May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. May 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. It's my first ever event of personal mastery at this level. I had already planned it before all of this was taking place. I'd already planned it before the COVID-19 thing. I already said, I just want to deep dive into what people are asking me. I'm taking the last 10 years of my life lessons and how I stayed focused, how I unhooked my triggers, how I got back on track when I got off track, how I stayed, how I built momentum, how I fed the gladiator in me, how I birthed the superhero in me. How did I do all that? I literally took 10 years of what I had to do, pulled it together as much as I can to serve it to you over the course of 3 days. It was already planned before all this took place, so I didn't have to pivot at all. It was just a matter of doing it online now. So now from the comfort of your home, if you're interested in learning how to unhook your triggers, learning how to forgive so that you can experience freedom, how do you play big, how do you manage your brain so that your brain is working on your behalf versus stopping you and having you press the brakes so much? How do you do that? It's my first time ever doing an event like this. It's called The Extraordinary You. It was something like $697, then it's $297. Let me just tell you this. I'm falling in love with you the way you love me, because I see where you're from. So I'm going to invite you to put in a code that only a few people have been invited to put in that are in my 30-day prosperity diet event. If you go to extraordinaryouevent.com, and I know, look up extraordinary, because I spell it different every time I type it. Extraordinary You. If you put extra and ordinary together, you get extraordinary, by the way. Go to extraordinaryouevent.com. But here's the key thing. type in extra, EXTRA 100. Type in extra 100. The fee to get in at this point is $197 to get in for 3 days of content from me and some master facilitators. But when you put in extra 100, you get in for $97.
That's amazing.
I know.
Thank you. So get loved up, community. Get loved up with extraordinary you, Lisa Nichols. Check it out. She has helped me build my career, build my confidence. She's helped me, like, in so many ways, stand in my power and not let the fears, the challenges, and the setbacks take me, but let them be my stepping stone. So I highly suggest, if you have that space in your schedule, even if you don't have that space in your schedule, make space in your schedule and be there for 3 days, really absorbing this content right now, because especially what we're going to do, it's going to help you at this time start to plan, make your plan of how you want to unfold, how you want to go within and work things out so you can become the best version of yourself. So thank you, Lisa, for that beautiful, beautiful offer. And can you tell people where to find you, just on a normal basis, where they can come and check out some more of the things that you have to offer? Because you have so many offerings.
Absolutely. So for those of you who are planning to step on the campus, I'd love to have you. Again, Koya, I want you as my guest because I want to be in any way that I can support and add fuel and add turbo to your transformation, add turbo to your contribution, add turbo to your brilliance, your beauty, and your obedience. Then let me add some turbo to it as a big sister would. And to everyone else, come empty and I'll come full, and I'll do everything I can to pour what I have into you over 3 days. And you can find me, of course, if you type in Lisa Nichols on YouTube, it shows up. But on my campus, I always tell people, you're in my community when you follow me somewhere. You're on my campus when you step inside of a program. That's when I get to see you and I get to turbo boost whatever you're up to. So that happens when you come over to Motivating the Masses, motivatingthemasses.com. When you come there, I bought that name in 1994. It wasn't until 2008 that I did anything that touched the masses, but I held on to the name every year saying, no, I know it's going to happen. So if you have a dream in your belly, if you have a fire in your soul and you're birthing something, then I would love to be one of the midwives to help birth that next best version of you in any way that I can. And some of our content is free. A lot of great content's free. And then there's some content that you can invest in and get a more intimate connection with me or my coaches. So whatever way serves you, I want to invite you to come. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, well, we just have one question just to close this all out. What does love mean to you?
Wow, what a great question. Love means the willingness. Love means the willingness to expand on demand. The willingness to forgive on demand. The willingness to grow, show, touch, be touched on demand. The willingness. Love for me is the willingness to explore the unexplored, the willingness to redream, the willingness to not make my future pay for my past, the willingness. So love lives in the willingness for me, not the perfection, not nailing it, not getting it all right, but the willingness. And love is the willingness to be loved, the willingness to allow someone to adore me, the willingness to be seen, the willingness to see, the willingness to ask for forgiveness and to forgive, the willingness. Love is the willingness.
Love is the willingness. Well, we just got loved up with Lisa. Thank you so much for being here. And until next time, you all, check Lisa out, sign up for her 3-day experience. I'll be there because it's right before I start my yoga teacher training. So I'm going to go get loved up. I like to pour into myself and fill my cup as she teaches before I pour into others. So right before my Get Loved Up teacher training, I'm going to go hang out and spend some time with my mentor, Lisa Nichols. And I hope you join me. Until next time, love yourselves, love each other, and love the planet. One breath at a time, one day at a time. Peace and love.